Thank you for listening to the pre-construction information presentation on the construction at the intersection of US-6 and Adams Central Avenue. Today we are going to go through the history of this project, the construction phases that will take place, the impacts to traffic as a result of construction, and then we will summarize everything at the end with the overall schedule, talking about the phases and the impacts and putting dates to those phases as well. While on the topic of schedule, I do want to point out that these dates are preliminary and to the best of our knowledge now and are subject to change in the future due to weather or other unforeseen impacts. But first, a little history on why construction is occurring at this intersection. The purpose of the project is to reduce the frequency and severity of crashes at the intersection of US Highway 6 and Adams Central Avenue, improve mobility of the traveling public, and improve the reliability of the transportation system. The need for improvement is based on a history of crashes at this intersection, as well as concerns over congestion that have occurred with the opening of the new Adams Central Elementary School. Initially, we held 2 stakeholder meetings and a public information meeting to gather input on improvements here. The public information meeting was held on November 13th, 2018 at the Hastings Auditorium. At that time, we presented 3 alternatives that met the stated purpose and need. Those alternatives were a roundabout, a restricted crossing U-turn or R-cut intersection, or an offset right intersection improvement. From the comments received at that meeting, the roundabout was the most preferred alternative, which also aligned with the outcome of the traffic operation and safety analysis performed. Therefore, a roundabout was carried forward to final design. In order to construct this roundabout and maintain traffic movements, work will occur in 3 distinct phases, with phase 1 actually occurring in 2 separate stages. These next 4 slides will demonstrate these different stages and phases, but before we get too deep into phase 1, stage 1, being as these next 4 slides are going to be similar, I just want to orient everyone to the location of this intersection. On all the slides, north will be oriented up as is indicated here by this north arrow. The east-west roadway is US Highway 6. The north-south roadway is Adams Central Avenue. Adams Central Junior Senior High School is located right here. And the newly constructed Adams Central Elementary School is located right here. In addition, I want to go through the legend. This legend will stay the same on the next 4 slides. Anything shaded red is the construction of temporary surfacing that will be used to carry traffic in the next phase. Anything shaded blue is previously constructed temporary surfacing that will be carrying traffic during that phase. However, once that phase is over, this pavement and this surfacing will be removed. Anything shaded green is the construction of permanent pavement, and anything shaded gray is previously constructed permanent pavement. During phase 1, stage 1, a bulk of the work will be the construction of temporary surfacing to the north of US Highway 6. During all phases and all stages of construction, eastbound and westbound movements will be maintained on US Highway 6. In addition, temporary pavement will be placed to the west of Adams Central Avenue, and this will again facilitate construction or movement of traffic as construction takes place on the roundabout. The roundabout will be constructed here and in this region here. In addition, you might have noticed this small black line here. This is a drainage culvert that needs to be installed in this phase to facilitate runoff from eastbound to westbound. The installation of this pipe under Adams Central could require a 1 to 2 day closure, and I will get into more details on that later. Phase 1, stage 1 is planned to begin on April 27th of this year and is scheduled to be complete on May 20th of this year. However, as I mentioned earlier, these dates are subject to change. Once the placement of temporary surfacing during phase 1, stage 1 is complete, phase 1, stage 2 can begin. During this phase, eastbound and westbound traffic on US 6 will be diverted to the newly constructed temporary pavement. as indicated here by this blue shaded shape. There will be concrete protection barrier placed at this time, and that is to shield construction from traffic movements. And that's this line right here. Also during this time, traffic movements on Adams Central Avenue to the north of US Highway 6 will be directed to the previously constructed temporary pavement, and access to private drives will be maintained to the north at this time. During Phase 1, Stage 2, a bulk of the north leg of the roundabout will be built, as well as all of the west leg, south leg, and east leg of the roundabout. At this time, temporary pavement will be placed here, here, and here, and this will be to carry westbound traffic through the next phase, and that'll be more clear on the next slide. During this phase, Adams Central Avenue to the south of US Highway 6 will be closed to through traffic. There will be advanced signage placed on Adams Central Avenue South saying closed to through traffic, local traffic only. So private landowners along Adams Central to the south will still be able to access their properties. However, they will not have access to US Highway 6 from the south. Also, access to private drives will be maintained at all times, and the contractor will coordinate changes in advance with property owners. Phase 1, Stage 2 is planned to begin on May 21st of this year and is planned to be done on July 29th of this year. During Phase 2 of construction, the temporary surfacing placed during Phase 1, Stage 1 and used during Phase 1, Stage 2 will be removed. Eastbound and westbound traffic on US 6 will actually be using the partially constructed roundabout. Eastbound traffic will travel through the roundabout and the south leg of the roundabout that is fully constructed, like so. And westbound traffic will travel through the approach legs of the roundabout onto some temporary surfacing and through the remainder of the west leg of the roundabout at this time. Adams Central Avenue to the south of US 6 will be open for traffic at this time. However, movements will be right in and right out only. There will be no through movements at this time due to construction. During Phase 2, Adams Central north of the new roundabout to the existing roundabout will be reconstructed, as well as the remaining portion of the north leg of the roundabout. In addition, the school trail that needed to be relocated due to construction will be reconstructed at this time, as is shown here. During this phase, Adams Central to the north of US 6 will actually be closed, and there will be a detour posted, and I will get into that detour on another slide. However, access to private drives will be maintained at all times during this phase, and the contractor will coordinate that with property owners. Phase 2 is slated to begin construction on July 30th of this year and is expected to end on August 9th of this year. And again, these dates are still subject to change. Phase 3 is the final phase of construction. During Phase 3, the temporary surfacing used to carry traffic westbound during Phase 2 will be removed. As in all phases, eastbound and westbound traffic will be maintained on US 6. Eastbound traffic will function much the same way as Phase 2, and they'll be traveling through the southern leg of the roundabout as shown here. And westbound traffic now will be able to use the north leg of the roundabout for this phase to go westbound. Adams Central Avenue will be open both north and south of US 6 during Phase 3. However, movements on both legs will be right in, right out, right in, and right out. There will be no movements allowed through the roundabout here and here due to construction. During Phase 3, the only construction taking place is the remainder of the splitter islands here and here, the truck apron here and here, and grading at the center of the roundabout itself. Phase 3 construction is planned to begin on August 10th of this year and planned to be complete on August 21st of this year. To summarize the traffic impacts of the 3 phases of construction. The next 3 slides will go through the different closures and movements that are prohibited. US-6 is open during all construction phases. Adams Central Avenue will be closed north of US-6 during Phase 1, Stage 1 for approximately 1 to 2 days, and that again was the installation of that drainage pipe. Additionally, Adams Central north of US-6 will be closed for the duration of Phase 2, which is approximately from the end of July to August 9th at this time. During the closures of Adams Central north of US-6, there will be signed detours in place in order to direct traffic to school activities that might take place during this time. The signed detour that will be in place for this north leg closure of Adams Central Avenue is shown here. Again, north is oriented up. The east and westbound roadway is US-6, and the north and south roadway is Adams Central Avenue. During this closure, traffic will be directed to turn to the north at Southern Hills Drive, turn to the west at DLD Road, and then turn back south at Adams Central Avenue and access the school from the north. This detour is expected to be used during Phase 1, Stage 1 for that 1 to 2 day closure and the duration of Phase 2. Other traffic impacts due to construction include the closure of Adams Central Avenue to the south of US-6. This closure takes place during Phase 1, Stage 2. At this time, local access to Adams Central Avenue will be allowed. However, there will be no through access on Adams Central Avenue south of US-6, meaning traffic on Adams Central cannot access US-6 south of US-6 during this phase. This phase is expected to take place from May 21st to July 29th. Finally, access to private drives will be provided through all phases and all stages of construction. Any disruption to access or changes to access will be coordinated in advance with the property owners by the contractor. In addition, Adams Central School District will continue to be a part of our scheduling activities, and we will work with them to limit impacts on school activities as construction progresses. In addition, construction is planned to be substantially complete before the first day of school of the 2020-2021 school year. To summarize, the construction phase and the dates are shown here. Again, please keep in mind that these schedules are subject to change. However, at this time, we are planning to begin construction on April 27th and ending Phase 1, Stage 1 of construction on May 20th. Phase 1, Stage 2 will begin on May 21st and end at the end of July, and that is the bulk of the roundabout itself, and that's when traffic on US-6 will be on that temporary surfacing. Phase 2 will begin at the end of July and be complete by August 9th prior to the commencement of the 2020-2021 school year. And Phase 3 will take place between August 10th and August 21st, and that's the construction of the remainder of those splitter islands and the truck apron. And we're expecting construction to be complete thereabouts towards the end of August. Thank you for your time. This marks the end of the pre-construction information presentation on the construction of the roundabout at the intersection of US-6 and Adams Central Avenue. If you have any questions or comments, please contact Sarah Sula, the Public Involvement Manager with the Nebraska Department of Transportation. Her mailing address, email, and phone number is shown below here. Thank you for your time.